this morning. So.
And we are live.
We're live.
Hello. Happy Friday.
Hi, everybody. Happy Friday for sure. Happy, what is it, the second Friday in December? It feels like a thing.
Christmas is weekend after next.
No.
I mean,
no. But
no, I know.
That cannot be a true statement. My psyche can't quite handle that.
But speaking of Christmas, all right, so show off the attire, the cool sparkly.
Look, friends.
Santa
I mean,
hat.
Is there a better Santa hat than this purple sparkly one? You know, I have friends who are also purple people like myself, so I know that they would appreciate the purple sparkle. So, but you have to also stand up
representing
because
my favorite things, Christmas and Star Wars together. So, yep. So there we go.
Do you have a diehard Christmas sweater? You know,
I do not have a diehard Christmas sweater.
Somebody in my family should get Tim the Die Hard as a Christmas movie, sweater. There must be one of those. So
yes,
it's like back in theaters or something for for this, because
I'm on the side that it's a Christmas movie.
Well, a Christmas movie is whatever you watch around Christmas time, right? So anyway, and to our listeners who are celebrating Hanukkah, yes. I wish you a happy Hanukkah. I know Lenny and I are all in with Christmas, and that is not for everybody, but I do know Hanukkah just began. So yes. Blessings of light and love to everybody who is celebrating that holiday right now.
Absolutely. Happy holidays. Yes. For all. So I'm sure we're missing other holidays for other religions. Apologies, not as well versed as we should be, but the holiday season. Hope everybody's having a wonderful holiday season.
Correct.
All right, we got a lot to cover.
We really do. So we're just going to start talking, and we're going to start with the very last minute edition when I got the email this morning from our own marketing team saying, all right, friends, we have our finalists for the 2024 future list, which I knew was coming, but I was like, oh yeah, we should talk about that. So it's an exciting time. For those of you who don't know about our future list, you can, go to our website and see what our future list is. Every year we honor 20 people who really kind of, are bringing in the future of the industry. They represent the future. They represent new thinking. They represent passion and involvement and everything that we want within our community. And so we're at the we've passed the first round after nominations came in, then applications came in. Now we've, kind of cleaned up that list to make sure that everybody that goes forth to the judges are qualified. So that's the phase we're at. It's pretty exciting. We have 72 people who are finalists that go before our panel of judges to narrow the list down to 20 people who are honored next year.
And down from what, 250?
It was actually, I think it was 266. So it's about the same number of nominees. We had, I think, in 2023 or for the 2023 list, we had about 267 nominations. This year, I think we had 266 nominations. I don't know the exact number of applications. So for those of you who are curious about the process, I did a LinkedIn post this morning. We can share that link too. That kind of explained what gets people certainly into the group of finalists. They have to be qualified. For one, and there's some things that go into that qualification. But also, just because you nominate somebody doesn't mean they become a finalist, right? They have to also then fill out an application with more information. So sometimes you can nominate somebody and they never complete an application, even though they're prompted many, many times for it. So we have applicants, and then the applicants are, willowed down further into finalists. And then next year we'll announce the honorees themselves.
Yep. And independent judges comprised of various awesome people from around the industry. Neither Karen or I.
No, untrue statement.
Oh, you are judge.
I am a
judge, but I am not.
You are not a judge, and Greg is not a judge. But yes. We don't, buy or sell research services or recommend research services. We are objective media in that way. So we can look at people with the criteria without an ulterior motive on any level. We're just really looking at that across the board. We do afterwards, we show some special treatment to who the honorees really are, kind of after the fact. Like once we announce our 20 honorees, then they are invited to speak at our events. We do some kind of promotional content for them. We invite some to the podcast. So becoming an honoree is really a special deal. And getting these honorees to our events, largely possible because we have a sponsor for that. So Clarity, I think, is this year's sponsor, Clarity, with their partnership on the effort. We get to bring these new speakers to or these, kind of newcomers to the industry to our stages. And so it's an exciting time.
It is. And speaking of honorees on, another front, so near and dear to your heart as well.
Yeah. So this is also came my way. Thank you actually for sharing it, Lenny. You got to me before my email or my inbox on this one. So the QRCA announced their Global Qualitative Research Award recipients, and they were given to two people this year, the 2024 recipients. There's a Florian Groth from Germany. He's the senior research consultant for consumer research at a firm called Point Blank in Berlin. Not to sidebar too far into Gross Point Blank, one of the favorite movies of all time.
That's a good movie.
Anyway, it's such a good movie. Anyway, I date myself with the fact that I love that movie for many, many reasons. But anyway, and then the other recipient of this award is a Sophia Ukoni from Nigeria, USearch Reader Lead Instant Messaging Team at, I think it's Transient Holdings in Nigeria. So congratulations to both Sophia and Florian. I am anxious to get to know you a little better through the initiatives of the QRCA. They invite them to speak at their event. And I'm actually going to look into both of them and maybe engage them in a conversation about whether they want to bring content to certainly our European event in Germany. And I think Nigeria might be an easier trip up to Amsterdam rather than North America. But I'm excited to talk to both these people. So congratulations to them as well.
Absolutely. Love the various initiatives that exist in the industry to help recognize and reward and support, right? And that is a piece of all of this, right? There is in various ways of supporting and recognizing folks that are doing cool stuff and making a difference in the industry. So
yeah,
very very good stuff.
And also people to pay attention to, right? Because they're at a point in their career where they're they're a little more experimental with what they're doing. They're entrepreneurial, they have new learning from their education. They're either new to the field. So there's just a certain quality about people that are new to you, I think, that bring inspiration. That's why I like these two particular awards.
Yep. Well, I guess speaking of cool new stuff.
Good segue. Cool stuff. Yeah. Friends, I'm sorry, I leaned back. That's away from the mic. There were so many launches in the last week that we wanted to talk about, new product launches. And, I pretty much said to you, Lenny, like, what do you want to start with? Because let's just start talking about them. There's a lot of them.
Yep, there are. Let's try and get through all of them. There were a bunch. And there's a reason for that. So, but we'll get to that at the end. See if you detect the theme in this. So,
we're not going to talk about the theme specifically. We'll talk about it around the edges. Right?
In the end, we'll talk about the theme. So in no particular order, other than how we just posted them here. Quantelope launched their AI co-pilot called Quinn. What is it about the AI platforms with the Q? It's just an odd thing. They're all a lot of Q things. Anyway, is that a Star Trek reference? Anyway,
no, I don't know. But we also just talked about like Clarity Research sponsoring the Future List that starts with a Q, and like Quantelope itself starts with a Q. So
Quantelope starts with a Q.
That's anyway another interesting topic for another time.
It is whole other thing. So this was actually developed in partnership with Microsoft. I suspect that it's linking into their Azure platform. I don't know for certain, but would be my guess. To look at data integration, and it is both generative and synthesizing AI, the things that you expect at this point, right? That are quickly becoming table stakes. So it makes recommendations on methodologies, on design, on analyzing, on the back end, reporting, those things that AI have emerged as being really proficient at. So so that was Quantelope. Hats off to them for
and keyword also on just to put a pin in the recommendations, right? Because I think that whenever I use AI to improve something that's already existing or to kind of take a look at it and it makes a recommendation, it's up to me to decide whether I choose to implement that recommendation or not. So I think that's one of the things I like and I'm curious about with this platform is it's not just going to redo it for me. It's going to suggest something that I may want to implement. Like it's going to say, consider this word. I don't know how it's going to say it, but consider wording your question this way. Won't that be great to strengthen, how we write our questions? Is it truly objective? Is it, is it the right, is it as open-ended as we want to be? Is it at all leading? Like, I love the idea that it can make recommendations for stronger questions. Cause that's anyway, super cool stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, being the king of double-barreled questions, I expected that it would be really useful for me. So
yes.
Yes.
Yes. I'm just
yeah,
well, as a moderator, I am also fun fact, when you moderate, they teach you when you go through training at Revo or wherever else you might get trained, and they're like, make sure you're wording your question, one simple question, because participants can get lost. And I always adopted a different philosophy, which is I often add more than one question because I want them to be able to answer it in a way that they may understand it. So I often ask kind of two questions at once and say, why did you choose that sweater? Or at the same time say, tell me why you chose that sweater or why that sweater really stood out to you. I might give them kind of two things to think over so that can help them get to an answer. So I am also a double-barreled qualitative researcher. That's all. Solidarity, Lenny. It's okay.
And an innovator. Innovator, Karen. So
go on. All right. Next innovation. Let's talk about discuss this project. Genie, it's called, because that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, discuss this qualitative platform, group platform. They've been around for a long time. Early entrant in the Insight Innovation competition. They did not win, but they were certainly a runner-up. Back in Philadelphia, I think. Many moons ago. Great platform. Shout out Jim Longo. And they earlier this year announced testing generative AI. ChatGPT is an integration to their platform, primarily from an analytical standpoint. Looks like they finished that testing, decided, yep, people like this. It adds value. So they have integrated that in to the platform. It's called Genie. It is built off of ChatGPT.
Keyword for the qualitative researchers, helping with those summary reports. I mean, I just think that if you are a platform that serves a qualitative researcher, just keep saying we help you summarize for reporting, because that is we've talked about this before, the beast of the research task for a qualitative researcher is how many hours that we can't be in the field when we have to finalize a report, because it's so much qualitative data. So the tools that are going to help them do that is going to help them to be better at their jobs. And I'm excited about that.
Although we can't really talk about it yet because we have a meeting scheduled, but we just FYI guys, and we had a company reach out to us this week that it is fully AI moderated, from discussion guide creation, moderation, and analysis, fully by AI. We will talk about it once we see it.
Did you tell me about this one?
Yeah, you were sending emails back and forth.
All right. I'll have to take a closer look, because maybe I don't know which one you're talking about. Maybe it's because anyway, it's fine.
It rapidly evolving.
Rapidly evolving. Cool.
We knew this was coming. No big surprise. Good segue. Big Village launched their audience intelligence for advertisers and their partners. This is a data census platform. Now, interestingly, they do not call out specifically that it is powered by AI. I would be shocked if it is not. But regardless of what's powering it, it will power generative AI, because it is effectively merging all of their data for voice of, I'll rattle it off, voice of customer data, behavioral, contextual data, intentions, purchase, attitudes, interests, values, sentiments, for campaign development. And so it's synthesizing that information. You can now license, access that information. It is talking about developing personas. I mean,
it says in their press release about it also that it helps to plan and activate the campaigns. And one of the features of these AI tools that I like, so I've been, experimenting in the content space, is when they say, I'll help you with the content brief, because that's helping you with strategy. And I think that that's just an interesting nuance to this AI, which is getting beyond summative and its ability to help you just synthesize what you have, to be like, again, back to recommendations, like, hey, here's a draft of a plan for you moving forward based on what we just learned. And I just think that's some of the power behind AI right now that we just can't ignore. It's pretty cool.
Yep. Another example, Circana, that was
Yeah.
IRI and MPD company, new branding. Their liquid data platform, little variation on a theme, but you can see where it's going. That, whether you're a licensee of their discrete product, if you are utilizing Microsoft Azure, you can now access their data via Azure. Guess what's baked into Azure? So again, it's a training set, and they specifically to meet the unique big data needs, including mass customization, speed, decisions enhanced by artificial intelligence and machine learning. And we've talked about this for months now on, with panel companies, anybody who owns data assets, effectively morphing into becoming AI training sets, being a spoke on the wheel, feeding into the kind of always on data machine. We are now seeing that play out within the market exactly as we thought it would happen, because it's what makes sense. So, and so of course, Circana is they're a very large company, and they sit on tons of difficult to reach data, scanner data, those type of things. And it just is what makes sense. So look for more of that.
Yeah. And the question is not if you're, on the vendor side of the business and you have a platform, it's no longer, is there an AI feature to your platform, but how are you using AI in your platform? Like, what have you done? Because, everybody is going to start to expect that there's going to be an AI assist to every platform. I think.
I'll tell you, I may even share this last week, but I'll say it again. I was having a conversation with a very senior person at one of the largest companies in the world, research companies in the world, that they were taking a fast follower model. There's no such thing, guys. I got to tell you, there's just not. And we'll talk about why in one more minute.
But we're not mentioning the word yet. So,
well, we already did, but we'll another thing.
Let's talk about this Waymark. This was new to me. That's sort of the other product launch that we want to talk about. So, Waymark, who's a generative AI video producer, partnered with Dan Ads, which is like a self-serve ad tech provider, and they are automating the entire TV advertising journey from AI generated creative production to targeting and distribution. So again, like we're not just making something, we're creating something, but we're actually directing strategy moving forward, which is another theme from some of these product launches. I think that's cool. I don't know how that'll work necessarily. I'm not in that space, but advertisers or agencies need to be kind of checking that out too, right?
Or even research, right, for creative testing. So let's connect the dots just using these companies that we just rattled off. Hypothetically, okay, here's how this ecosystem works or is evolving rapidly. You've got companies like Circana and Big Village that are feeding data in around purchase behavior, product preferences, attitudes, all of those things. Create personas. Use it, and then you want to create a campaign. So you're utilizing a platform like Waymark to create campaigns targeted to these different personas driven by the data that you're getting from these other sources. And then you rapidly test them with Quantelope on the fly. And you're testing, 50 different creative concepts, all generated by AI within minutes to find the winner. Then you optimize and you you launch that campaign. This is the world we are in. It is not the world that is coming. It is the world that we are in. All that is missing are the linkages, and those are easy to APIs. Right. So,
and our human ability to rethink processes.
Yes.
So that I think is sort of the charge for every company is you really have to rethink how you do things. Like you've busted your own paradigms for, if you're a full service supplier or something and somebody comes to you with a project, like throw away your old proposals. No more. Like that's not how you should go about your future research initiatives. You should say, like, lean in what is possible today, not what we did a month ago or the last time we did this work. Like you really have to think about everything you do differently and shake it up and change the way you do things. We're doing that internally as well. We have to rethink how we do business with our new reality. That's just how you're going to stay in this game.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And those of us have been around for a long time. We've been on this ride before. It was just slower.
Yeah.
Right. So and I think that's an important point. Maybe like this idea of we'll be a fast follower.
Yeah.
In mid 2000s.
Yeah.
We could afford to do that. You could be a fast follower. You could even be a late adopter in some cases and still be okay. But I do not believe that reality is where we are now. Just like everything with the rollout of these technologies and the rapid speed of adoption and the rapid iteration and changes, it applies to us too, right? So fast follower, back in the day may have been, we got a year, before we have to become mobile first.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Or 2 or 3 years actually was, if from memory. That's not the world we are in now.
Right.
So we have to embrace, experiment, as you said, kind of bust your own processes, move fast, break things, and go forward, because that's just the speed of reality today.
Yeah.
Which is a segue.
Which is a segue about reality, right? So,
did you check out the demo video of Genesis? Did you watch that?
I actually did not. I didn't. Go ahead and I just know, Tim and I. Anyway,
I got to take a drink. I wish there was. I mean, those know me. No, I don't drink. There's times where it's like, man, I don't know. I'm had to start drinking again because some of this stuff is just mind blowing. That's a bad joke, but
no, I know, and like this is the what's interesting about these new releases from the big players, right? So Google's debut with their head-to-head competitor, which we knew was coming, and there had been there's Bing and there's Bard, and there's been like some simmerings of some things in the industry, but when they just released this past week, like stock just like, I think one of the articles that we read, which we'll share, is like, Wall Street cheered, like, stocks are going up, and it's like, all right, here we go. And now we've got such competition among the big providers, and that comes with some serious what's the right word? I don't want to say risk, but it's this unsettled feeling. It's like, yes, okay, let's go, because it's on. We're going to get better products when there is that kind of competition for OpenAI. However, it also comes with don't go too fast, right? Because we might need to put the reins on. So it was an interesting week, because at the same time we have some big product launches. We have Elon Musk saying, now hold on a minute, like and he's a loon. Don't get us wrong, he's a loon, but he's saying, is Sam Altman kind of helping everybody candy coat what might be coming? So we have a link to that article as well. I don't know. It's kind of big news, all of it.
Well, let's talk about Genesis for me, because it really is it's everything you just said. Yes.
Yes.
Lots of moving pieces here. We're in the arms race now, the AI arms race. The Genesis is Google's product, fully released in January, but their announcement, look it up. There's a cool video, and let me describe that to you really quickly so you understand the difference. Where the other solutions, like OpenAI solutions, are multiple models that are kind of put together. This is one holistic model, meaning that it's the same platform that is looking at every single source of information and every type of data, structured and unstructured, video, audio, images, text, all together. And the example was without speaking, somebody was drawing something, and
Yeah.
Genesis was watching it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it was commenting the whole time, like, "Okay, I see you drawn a line. Oh, okay, that's a duck,
Yeah.
right?" And this was a cartoon duck. And then they start coloring it. Like, oh, it's a blue duck. Oh, okay. And it's very conversational, identifying what someone is physically drawing,
Yeah.
right? And then the artist holds up a rubber duck, right? And said, "Oh, I see. It's a rubber duck, or oh, it's a toy duck. But I can't tell what composition, what that is made out of." Guy squeaks it. Oh, it's a rubber duck because it squeaks. This
Right.
is the
Deduct
AI,
human-like deduction.
human-like deductive reasoning.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Uh,
So that's where it, we don't want to leave you with like, oh no, but I just think that if you are at all leaning towards the future like Lenny and I are, that's the business that we're in, right? Is understanding our industry with the lens for the future, but we can't help ourselves but think about all of the future that's coming our way. This human type of reasoning and deduction and learning abilities is what everybody is nervous about in those circles, which is behind some of the Altman shakeup, some of the Musk controversy, and now we are in a competition. And so again, we circle back to that's the big picture. And what is possible for the insights industry in terms of these platforms that you're creating, and how will that type of processing factor in? Oh,
yes,
I see. You want an open end for this, or oh, I see. You want to, you want to segment your data when you're done. Like it might start to be smarter than you as a researcher within the next few years.
it might. But use that example, right? I'll yes, agreed. Type stuff, right? I mean, I got to say, yeah, I know we're coming up on time. As
Yeah,
always, the EU launched their AI protection,
yeah,
or
yeah.
trying to do that. It's like, yeah, and you're already too late.
I
I'm
know.
sorry,
The
everything you just
protection of
said,
the
that's
very
last year's stuff, right?
yeah,
I mean, that's the speed removing. But this is the human part. How
yeah,
can we utilize these tools to unlock innovation? I mean, Karen, one of the things I always loved about your past life was utilizing Legos
yeah, yeah.
as a within qualitative sessions for kind of
Yeah, I just
ideation
did
and
display at the heart.
design.
Yeah,
Yeah, think about these types of tools. How do we unlock? How do we use them to help create the connection between the human
yeah,
machine, right? The machine is going to create the efficiencies,
yeah,
and it's just going to. It's already there, and let's
yeah,
embrace that. How do we leverage it to get to the innately human things that they cannot be replaced? And I think it's really exciting. We're going to see some cool new innovations, methodological innovations occur as a result of that deliver a whole lot more value. Because here's what brands, you know, testing, tracking, all of those things. Yeah, it's we'll see synthetic sample. We'll see what they do with that. New product design,
yeah,
new product ideation.
right,
You
right.
know, I don't think AI would have created the Swiffer,
Yeah,
right? So those types of things, that's what brands are looking for, is breakthrough innovation themselves,
yeah.
and to create new products and new categories. And that's a human thing, and that's what we'll use these tools to unlock. How do we do that more?
Okay, but however, now imagine what if and I don't want to run over, so I will talk really fast.
Yes.
But the innovation story behind Swiffer that I saw was the ethnography about cleaning floors,
Mhm.
and how many hours of video that people were watching for the moment when they saw an older woman, after she was done, take a paper towel and clean up the last bit of dust on the floor. The hours of video footage. What if our machines, our learning models, synthesize hours of data for the single thing that sparks insights? That may be possible. So
It may be.
it may be. I'm just saying that happened to be synthesizing hours of video footage of ethnographies. Therefore, I don't know. Or maybe it would miss that and it wouldn't be intelligent enough to see that that's a moment that sparked insight. So
right. That was the
jury is
critical piece. Right. So, but research is still going to be needed one way or the other to get there. So please don't ever take, we are excited for research. On that note,
Yes.
the grit survey is in the field.
It
If
is,
you
it
have
is.
not gotten an invitation, if you did get an invitation, please take it. If you have not, go to grimbook.org. You see where there. Please participate because we need to know what you guys are going through, right? How are you thinking about these things? How is this affecting your business, your life? And we will report all that out in the spring. So we're all on the kind of a level playing field and understand what's going on. So,
and if you have a new product release you need us to know about, and you don't want to put it to chance that Lenny and I will happen upon it, the exchange at greenbook.org will make its way to us no matter what. So feel free to share those product launches with us to that email address specifically. And we, are happy to be sharing.
That's it. So can I say, may the holiday force be with you, since I'm wearing my Star Wars?
You can say it. I'm not everybody.
For this week. We'll be back with more cool stuff next week.
And more sweaters and more hats, because
more sweaters, more hats.
That's what we're doing. We just decided.
Say in the comments if you would rather me wear a hat than a sweater, which many people despise my hair. You may really like me to wear a hat, so please let us know.
Oh my goodness.
Let us know. Let us know. Let us know.
Oh my goodness.
On that note,
you have one more pun before we leave.
I don't. I think I'm done.
Those were good though. Two ranking ones. All right. Funny stuff. Okay, friends. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.